From the witness testimony today, I know I'm innocent. A police officer who goes to the bathroom 7 different times, testifying lies, in a car.
It's senseless. No video evidence. No, wait until after the judgment.
You don't have evidence to tell the protocol? Then you call the poll. Oh yeah, you know, I listen to Chamebele, the jack kept the poll, what I do, why you keeping the poll there for? You listen.
They're coming to talk to the superintendent, the representative, where they were saying they will do they want it, do they want to do that one. Then they try and see about the road condition. Now my market in the bush, all of my people, my black bone, some of my
where you say?
On the former President Weah regime, but since the government took over, we don't have freedom in real life. It's a great challenge for us as a motorcycle company. One, irrelevant to say we are failure or foreigners.
First of all, I'm a product of the University of Liberia. I have my first degree from there. I have my second degree from there. The University of Liberia is the state-owned institution, the highest institution of learning in this country.
So how does today make you feel, Kasala?
To make me feel good that at least the truth prevail. We have recognition, and all along, I was on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
I mean, people call me and say, 30 million again? Well, what is that? What I did for this money? What happened? I said, come here, arrest you for 30 million. My sister, 30 million? I didn't do anything with 10 million. 10 million is for the World Food Program.
K News comes to you from the News and Current Affairs Department of Cool 91.9. You can listen to K News at 6 a.m., 2 p.m. and 6. K News, K News, K News, K News.
From the witness testimony today, I know I'm innocent. A police officer who goes to the bathroom 7 different times.
K News, K News, K News, K News.
From the witness testimony today, I know I'm innocent. A police officer who goes to the bathroom 7 different times, testifying lies, in a car.
It's senseless. No video evidence. No, wait until after the judgment.
You don't have evidence to tell the protocol? Then you call the poll. Oh yeah, you know, I listen to Chamebele, the jack kept the poll, what I do, why you keeping the poll there for? You listen.
they're coming to talk to the superintendent, the representative, where they were saying they will do they want it, do they want to do that one. Then they try and see about the road condition. Now my market in the bush, all of my people, my black bone, some of my
Where you say?
Embarrass on the former President Weah regime, but since the government took over, we don't have freedom in real life. It's a great challenge for us as a motorcycle company. One, irrelevant to say we are failure or foreigners.
First of all, I'm a product of the University of Liberia. I have my first degree from there. I have my second degree from there. The University of Liberia is the state-owned institution, the highest institution of learning in this country.
So how does today make you feel, Kasala?
To make me feel good that at least the truth prevail. We have recognition, and all along, I was on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
I mean, people call me and say, 30 million again? Well, what is that? What I did for this money? What happened? I said, come here, arrest you for 30 million. My sister.
K News, K News, K News, K News.
From the witness testimony today, I know I'm innocent. A police officer who goes to the bathroom 7 different times, testifying lies, in a car.
It's senseless. No video evidence. No, wait until after the judgment.
You don't have evidence to tell the protocol?
Then you call the pope. Oh yeah, you know, I listen to Chemebele, the jack kept the pope, what I do, why you keeping the pope there for? You listen.
They're coming to talk to the superintendent, the representative, where they will say they will do they want it, do they want to do that one. Then they try and see about the road condition. Now my market in the bush, all of my people,
where you say?
They used to embarrass us under the former President Weah regime. But since the government took over, we don't have freedom in real life. It's a big challenge for us as a motorcyclist. We've gone irrelevant to say we are failure or foreigners.
First of all, I'm a product of the University of Liberia. I have my first degree from there. I have my second degree from there. The University of Liberia is the state-owned institution, the highest institution of learning in this country.
So how does today make you feel, Councillor?
To make me feel good that at least the truth prevail. We have recognition, and all along, I was on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
I mean, people call me and say, 30 million again? Well, what is that? What I did for this morning? What happened? I said, come here, arrest you for 30 million. My sister, 30 million?
Pleasant good morning from Pinsur outside the nation's capital. Welcome to K News, a 45 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world. My name is Winifred Saka, presenting today's edition of K News. We will take a very short break to be right back. Please don't go away. Welcome back, and now to this development. The 3rd Annual West Africa Logistic Conference WACS has officially opened in Liberia, marking a significant milestone in that's the U.S.-Africa Security Cooperation, Commerce, Diplomacy, and Logistics Readiness. Running from August 5 to the 7, the event brings together over 20 nations, senior military leaders, logistic experts, government officials, and private sector partners on the theme Building Capacity Through Logistics. Speaking at the opening of the conference, Defense Minister Sheridan George emphasized the importance of partnership, preparedness, and shared expertise among ECOWAS member states and African partners. Minister George highlighted logistics as the backbone of effective military operations in addressing transnational threats and humanitarian crises. The defense boss thanked African partners for their ongoing support in training resources and technical assistance, which have significantly contributed to regional security. She also called on delegates to work together with unity, innovation, and mutual respect to ensure a stable and secure West Africa.
Underscore our collective commitment to strengthening regional security, enhancing interoperability, and optimizing logistic capabilities across our arms. In an era of evolving security challenges, from transnational threats to humanitarian crises, logistics remains the backbone of effective military operations. Liberia as a nation has experienced the transformation power of peacekeeping and security sector reform. Deeply appreciate the value of partnership, preparedness, and shared expertise. The presence of our ECOWAS brothers and sisters alongside our valued partners from Africa reaffirms our shared vision of a stable, secure, and prosperous West Africa. The conference presents an invaluable opportunity to enhance the practice in defense logistics and supply chain management, foster collaborations to address common security challenges, enhance readiness through innovation and capacity building, and to strengthen the bonds of solidarity amongst ECOWAS militaries. To our African partners, we extend our gratitude for your sustained commitment to Africa's security architecture. Your support in training, resources mobilization, and technical assistance continues to make a tangible difference. To our delegates, let us seize this moment to forge practical solutions that will alleviate all our collective operational effectiveness. The security of one nation is linked to the stability of the entire West Africa. As we proceed with this conference, let us be guided by the principles of unity, innovation, and mutual respect. Liberia is proud to host this beneficial event, and we are confident that the outcome will significantly advance our shared security objectives. Welcome to Liberia. May our discussion be fruitful, and may we leave here with renewed vigor to serve our nation and our region.
For his part, U.S. Charge d'Affaires Joseph Sajusling described the ongoing logistics conference in Liberia as a pivotal moment in advancing security cooperation and strengthening logistics network across Africa. Speaking on behalf of AFRICOM, he emphasized that the conference marked a major milestone as the U.S. Africa Command prepares to transition from a regional-focused logistic approach to a continent-wide initiative by 2026. He highlighted the Theater Logistics Readiness Program as a key element of the transition, noting that the conference served as a feedback loop to improve the program and build stronger partnership. He also stressed the importance of building Africa logistics leadership, fostering a professional logistic, and advancing African concept assessment as advocates and integrates. He also welcomed private sector participation, underscoring the value of integrating U.S. industry into future initiatives.
It's an honor to join you here today at the opening of the West Africa Logistics Conference 2025 here in Liberia. This gathering represents a critical milestone in our shared commitment, fostering regional stability, enhancing security, and building the foundations for sustainable economic growth across West Africa. On behalf of the United States State Department, I want to express our unwavering support for this initiative, which aligns closely with our current administration's objectives of strengthening our security partnership with African nations through regional coordination and defense interoperability. We are enthusiastic to have several U.S. industry leaders in attendance to promote these goals through offering a range of top quality equipment and services. U.S.-Africa commercial diplomacy is, more than ever, a vital component of U.S. foreign policy. It will go a long way towards advancing mutual prosperity and shared security. We want to be your partners of choice, and to do so, we must be present and continue to offer the best. As I prepared for this conference over the weekend, I quickly realized that this conference is more than just a meeting of minds. It's a platform for action. Stakes are high. The Gulf of Guinea and the vast territories such as the Sahel are regions that are critical to our shared national security supply chains, and they face growing challenges, including destabilizing influences from external state and non-state actors. By building stronger regional networks of like-minded nations that are committed to peace and stability, we will be best positioned to counter these threats and ensure the region is secure and prosperous with expanded opportunity. We will be in the best position to counter these threats and ensure the region is a secure and prosperous continent with expanded opportunity. I want to commend AFRICOM for their leadership in organizing this conference and for their dedication to strengthening partnership across West Africa. To our African partners, our commitment to this shared vision inspires us all. And to U.S. industry, we welcome your participation and your keen interest in investing in Africa. As we embark on this important dialogue, let us remember that the work we do here today, and also that we must continue to do after this conference, will shape our futures together. We can achieve results that benefit not only our nations, but the entire global community. Thank you for your dedication, your part.
Joseph Sajusling is the U.S. Charge d'Affaires. Earlier was the Defense Minister, Geraldine George, there speaking at the opening of the West Africa Logistic Conference in Margibi County. The House of Representatives has formally requested President Joseph Boakai to place a temporary halt on key functions of the Liberia Traffic Management Incorporated. The House, in a communication dated August 4, 2025 to the executive signed by Chief Clerk Mattress Hayon, urged President Boakai to suspend the vehicle registration driver's lesson and lesson plate insurances in the concession agreement with the company. The request follows a report from the House Joint Committee on Transport and Investment and Concessions, which highlighted the need for a thorough investigation and transparency in concession agreement. This action came after another protest hit the grounds of the Capitol building on Monday, August 4, by aggrieved commercial drivers and employees of the Transport Ministry. The aggrieved commercial drivers and employees accused the Liberia Traffic Management Company of harassment and exploitation in the vehicle registration and driver license insurance processes.
One of our cars was issued tickets for wrongful registration, as you can see. All right, because he did his registration at Transport Ministry, and one of the officers from LTM office collected him, gave him tickets for wrongful registration. This thing is not good. This thing will bring a serious chaos in this country. The peaceful citizens are being harassed. It takes months or two for somebody to generate $3,000 or $4,000 with the struggle. This thing is a serious issue, and the transport union is fully involved. Yeah, I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy.
Give you a copy. We got evidences.
I think I'm off now.
In solidarity with my people, especially the workers at the Ministry of Transport. My concern is the looming uneasiness we see occurring in the ministry. We are in direct solidarity. The rest of the civil servants of this country are in direct solidarity with the Otherwise, let us not allow this wickedness to go through. It is something affecting, it is my problem to say the peace, to see our government that we've so earnestly worked for and we brought into power, that we enter into a deal with foreign nationals to take the breath from our people's mouth, which is uncalled for. And more besides, the police are in the forefront of this thing, brutalizing our workers for speaking up with our own right, which is
Receiving the petition on behalf of the House of Representatives, the co-chair on claims and petition Representative Jacob Debbie of District 3 Grand Jide County disclosed the House decision of communicating the plight of the aggrieved protesters to the executive. He assured the aggrieved protesters that the House of Representatives would do all in its legislative authority to ensure the concession agreement is revisited.
There is a communication that we have a stay order on this whole process and that we should write to the ministry. You can rest assured that the leadership is going to take a very decisive assured that leadership is going to take a very decisive decision this afternoon. But please, I want you to know that we recognize what you are doing out here. We couldn't sit there and continue the meeting without coming to acknowledge your presence. So please bear in mind that we are working in your interest, in the interest of the Liberian people. We are not going to be biased, we're going to be very afternoon. So the concerns that you have is our concern. You elected us to be able to represent you. Exactly. And because of that, not only that we have to represent you, but we have to do the legal thing. And the Constitution, the act that established the Ministry of Transport, gets you that right.
it can be refunded to you, the Ministry of Transport, so that you can conduct the affairs while we return to session and then plenary makes the final decision. So rest assured that we are in your shoes. We are understanding what you're going through. We can put hundreds of Liberians out of job and give them Liberian jobs. That's not possible, and that's not good for our country. We will ensure that the right things are done, and you will know that from the decision today, it will be communicated with your leaders and then as well with the president.
His representative Jacobs Debbie there speaking when he received the petition on behalf of the House of Representatives from aggrieved protesters. The National Executive Committee of the Merged Federation of Motorcycle and Tricycle Union of Liberia, MFONTU, has rendered a vote of no confidence against its President General John A.F. Keyon. MFONTU informed all government institutions, international partners, NGO, private entities that the MFONTU constituent and other relevant stakeholders that the formal vote of no confidence has been passed against Mr. John Keyon. The vote of no confidence effectively relieves Keyon of his position as President General. The vote of no confidence cast by 7 of the 9 members of the National Executive Committee accused John Keyon of conflict of interest, making lack of transparency and misinterpretation of the institution in engagement with public and private entity, among others. The MFONTU National Executive Committee announced the decision on Tuesday, August 5, 2025, at the union headquarters on the A.B. Talbert Road in Pinsville. Reading the press statement, MFONTU Vice President for Trade, Commerce and Investment, Tunatu Bofi, noted that the decision followed extensive deliberations by the National Executive Committee based on well-documented instances of negligence on the part of John Keyon in the discharge of his duties. To ensure operational continuity, the NEC has announced that it will establish a transitional leadership mechanism with an emergency meeting to be convened within 14 days for the election of a new interim President General. MFONTU call on all stakeholders to cease all engagement with John Keyon in any capacity purporting to represent the institution. The group emphasized that any such dealing are unauthorized and done solely at their own risks.
The National Executive Committees of the Merged Federation of Motorcycle and Tricycle Union of Liberia, MFONTU, hereby notify all government institutions, international organizations, NGO, private entities, MFONTU constituents, institutions, regional and county leadership, stakeholders, junior officers, the media institutions, the service community, and the general public that a formal vote of no confidence has been passed against Mr. John A.F. Keyon. Consequently, he is hereby relieved of his duty as interim President General of MFONTU, effectively immediately. The decision followed the extensive deliberation by the National Executive Committee, the NEC, based on a well-documented instances such as negligence in the discharge of duties, conflicts of interest, unilateral decision-making, lack of transparency, and misrepresentations of the institution in interactions with public and private entities. Further details are outlined in the official resolution for the vote of no confidence. To ensure operational community, the National Executive Committee act on the following. The National Executive Committee will institute a transitional leadership mechanism. An emergency leadership meeting will be convened within 14 days to select or elect a new interim President General. The National Executive Committee of MFONTU hereby advise all stakeholders, including the government body, the international and private partners, MFONTU, constituent institution, regional and county leadership, junior officers, and the general public to cease all dealing with Mr. John A.F. Keyon, reportedly acting on behalf of the MFONTU or the Liberian cyclist sector. Any engagement with Mr. John Keyon in this capacity is unauthorized and undertaken solely at your own risk. For official communication, please contact MFONTU directly via email mfontu2024@gmail.com.
and for to remain firmly committed to transparency, accountability, and principled leaderships in the best interest of all motorcyclists and transcyclists across Liberia. The National Executive Committee.
The United States has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening regional security, economic ties, and commercial diplomacy in West Africa during the opening of the West Africa Logistics Conference 2025. Speaking at a high-level gathering, U.S. Ambassador Robert Scott, the deputy to the commander for civil military engagement, described the conference as a platform for action aimed at addressing critical regional and global challenges. The Gulf of Guinea and the Sahel are vector to global supply chains and collective security, Ambassador Scott said, warning that these regions face mounting threats from both states and non-state actors. He stressed the importance to enhance regional coordination, defense, and alignment with the U.S. government's Africa strategy. The conference, spearheaded by the U.S. Africa Command AFRICOM, brings together senior military officials, government representatives, and private sector leaders from across West Africa and the United States. It seeks to improve civil military collaboration, boost logistical readiness, and support peacekeeping, humanitarian mission, and long-term development. Highlighting the role of commercial diplomacy, Ambassador Scott pointed to the presence of WS industry players offering advanced technologies and services, noting that economic engagements are the cornerstone of the U.S. foreign policy on the continent. He urged participants to maintain momentum beyond the conference, emphasizing that the decision made will shape the future of the region and contribute to global stability. The West Africa Logistics Conference 2025 is expected to produce a accountable strategy to counter regional security threats, enhance logistics cooperation, and strengthen partnership between the United States and African nations.
This isn't just another conference. It's a pivotal moment. It represents a significant step forward in how we, as a collective, as a group, approach logistics and security cooperation in West Africa and across the continent of Africa. So for US AFRICOM, WALK 2025 marks a critical milestone. As we prepare to transition in 2026 from a regionally focused logistics approach to a command-wide, continent-wide initiative, this conference will set the stage for that growth. For the past several years, we collectively and AFRICOM have been rigorously testing and refining our Theater Logistics Readiness Program, or TLRP. And WALK serves as a vital feedback loop in that iterative process. So we all learn together, and what you provide us, we incorporate moving forward into the next year. This is about more than just AFRICOM's internal evolution, though. It's fundamentally about empowering all of our partners, all of you who have joined us here today. The core of the TLRP is building partner capacity and enhancing operational independence. We aim to achieve this through three key lines of effort: establishing a robust network of senior African logistics leaders, that is you, fostering a professional logistics cadre across the continent, and rigorously testing our assess, advise, advocate, integrate, or A3I concept. This means that we're working together to build more resilient logistics networks. It means opportunities for professional development, including for our NCOs, a vital part of all of our militaries. So we are together considerably greater than the sum of our individual parts. Collectively, we can achieve great things. A strong interconnected logistics network is vital to regional stability and security. It allows us to collectively address shared challenges, including countering the potential for malign influence. A strong partnership network and persistent presence, these are critical to protecting vital global supply chains. At this point, I'd also like to join other speakers in welcoming our private sector colleagues who've come here from U.S. industry. We think they have a great value proposition to add, and we're so pleased to have been able to integrate them into our events. AFRICOM will be doing more of that moving forward. AFRICOM is committed to being a trusted partner to each of you. We want to understand your unique challenges, your priorities, and your vision for the future. We're here to listen. We believe that by working together, by sharing best practices, and by investing in your logistics frameworks, we can create a more secure, stable, and prosperous future for all. Let me just step away from my remarks, though, to say that history will also inform our future. When I first joined AFRICOM, which took part 2 years ago, I got to meet all the JADers, all of our sections, and I was given a little bumper sticker, and the bumper sticker said, "Amateurs talk strategy, professionals talk logistics." So let me leave you with that. I'm looking forward to being...
Meanwhile, Major General Davison Fire-Foley emphasized the significance and timing of the event, calling Liberia's hosting a sign of restored peace and growing regional influence. He noted that the conference move from Cameroon and now Liberia reflects the country's rising role in regional security. Foley said terrorism remains a shared threat that requires collective action, praising U.S.-Africa cooperation in areas like the blue economy, maritime security, logistics, and medical support. He stressed that logistics goes beyond equipment, it also deployment, maintenance, and planning. The general highlighted the importance of building human capacity and learning from regional peers like Ghana, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria, among other African countries.
This conference would not have been a better time than what we have it today. We understand that sometimes in Côte d'Ivoire, we had the first one, but that was a forum. It gravitated to Cameroon. Then we had another big one in Cameroon. Today, we have it in Liberia. And the good thing about it, having this conference in Liberia, it brings about a lot to the table. It means that Liberia has returned to peace. Liberia has returned to sanity. And that's why before you host such a conference, there must be a thorough setting. He was here a few months ago to ensure that indeed the conference can be held here. So we are here today. Why this conference? Very important. You will agree with me that the common enemies that all of us face today in the world is terrorism. And because of that, no one country can fight terrorism. It has to be togetherness. There must be a synergy of effort. That's why this conference is directed to us. Our partners from the United States, this is not just about logistic conference. They have come in many ways. We talk about our maritime domain. Our blue economy has been exploited. So because of that, our partners again, the great United States of America, have organized a lot of exercises like Obagamid Express, Sea Lion. When you take it to the other side, about communication, African endeavors. When you take it to the medical side, a lot of medical meetings being arranged all over the world, sponsored by our United States partners. We are happy to have you here today. We are here to ensure that all of us bring to bear what we have, our expertise when it comes to logistics. Logistics is very key. Without logistics, you're not going to win a battle. You can do all you can, but you can also have the logistics and you lost the battle because you must have the intellect, how to deploy your economic assets. You're talking about making sure that these assets are taken care of, the maintenance, BMCS. You have a logistic and you can take care of them. That's why this conference is very important. This conference is not about cents and dollars benefit. It's about building the capacity, the human resource. Because this is where we share experience. We hear from them, they hear from us, how they deploy when it comes to logistics, how we do ours. We hear from Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and all these countries that have been successful when it comes to logistic deployment, how to manage our logistics when it comes to our preventive maintenance and check how to do it. Because let me tell you, the first time we were deployed in the UN mission in Mali, we had problems with logistics because we were not there. And Nigeria had to step. At some point, Chad had to step in. So you see that this conference is very important because it will take us to another level. After 8 years of being in the United Nations mission, Liberia was able to pass all of our COE check as a contingent on equipment check because we have had some level of experience with our counterparts from West Africa and Africa. So that is exactly what they're doing. So it's not about cents and dollars, it's not about aircraft. That might come, but it is at the most strategic level.
His Major General Davison Fire-Foley earlier was Robert Scott there speaking. And now to this development. A high delegation from the ECOWAS Parliament is currently in Liberia leading a regional outreach mission focused on combating psychoactive substance abuse and addressing mental health challenges across West Africa. On Monday, August 4, the parliamentary delegation from ECOWAS arrived in Monrovia, Liberia as part of a sensitization mission aimed at strengthening partnerships with national institutions and civil society. The delegation, which was led by Senator Edwin Snow, a member of the ECOWAS Parliament representing Liberia, and include Fatoumata Jar from the Gambia, Ibrahim Raji of Nigeria, and Aminata Toure from Senegal, among others. Their mission began with a series of high-level courtesy visits to key ministries, including the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Health, Youth and Sport, Gender and Education. During these engagements, the ECOWAS team held discussions with Liberian officials on improving policy coordination, expanding mental health services, and promoting cross-border cooperation to combat drug-related crimes. Drug abuse is no longer a national problem. It is a regional crisis, but we need to join hands with Liberia and all ECOWAS member states to find sustainable solutions that prioritize both security and public health. The delegation also highlighted the urgent need to focus on youth engagement and education, strengthening the country's youthful population. Fatoumata Jar, a strong advocate for women and youth, issued call for more investment in community-based programs. The ECOWAS team is expected to hold further consultation with Liberian lawmakers, health professionals, and civil society groups through the week. This mission is also in line with the ECOWAS Action Plan on Drug Control and Crime Prevention, which runs through 2025.
We want to thank so much Liberia, thank the Minister for receiving us in this place, thank all authorities from Liberia, President, Government, Parliament, and thanks so much delegation of Liberian ECOWAS Parliament for the very, very good hospitality since we come to Liberia. We have mission here. We was in Guinea-Conakry, Sierra Leone, and now Liberia to sensitize and promote programs.
Cancer, because some of those substances are carcinogenic.
Yes.
So you also get cancer, so that has dangerous drugs. Yeah, so we are actually working collaboratively, and the ministry and itself, we are building a neuropsychiatric hospital in Bensenville so that we can be able to institutionalize and treat patients.
Complex. That's why when the president took over, he immediately set up a task force, a multi-sectoral task force on drugs and substance abuse. It's headed by the Minister of Health. But it has youth exposed, it has justice, LDA, gender, and everything.
How we are here. We want first to thank the Minister of Education of Nigeria and thank all authorities from Nigeria for the very good hospitality.
We can't overemphasize the urgency with which we need to handle the drug issue. It's now or never, because if we have a population that is 66.
They are delegates from ECOWAS. Well, if you're just joining us, it's a reminder that you are listening to K News, of 45 minutes of news presentation that brings you the actual voices of the newsmakers here on this station. My name is Winifred Sako. Keep following us as we bring you more local and international development. Bomi County Senator Edwin Snow has praised the government of Liberia for what he calls a commendable fight against drug abuse, but says there is still more to be done to win the battle completely. Speaking in Monrovia, Senator Snow expressed support for President Boakar's strong stance on combating narcotic and substance abuse across the country. The Bomi County Senator emphasized that while recent steps by the administration are encouraging sustained action and deeper community engagement are crucial for lasting impact. The government's efforts so far are impressive. We see action and we see commitment, but if we are to truly succeed in this fight against drug, we must continue to intensify our efforts and involve every sector or society, something he said. Senator Snow, who is currently head of the ECOWAS delegation to Liberia, made the remarks ahead of the August 7 Peaceful Drug Awareness March, a national initiative aimed at raising awareness and mobilizing citizens against the danger of drug abuse. He reaffirmed the regional body's support for Liberia's anti-drug effort, noting that drug trafficking and addiction are regional concerns that demand coordinated responses. The Peaceful Drug Awareness March is expected to draw thousands of Liberian civil society groups and government officials, all calling for stronger prevention, rehabilitation, and enforcement strategies. Senator Snow's comments come as public concern continue to grow over the rise in drug-related issues, particularly among Liberia's youth.
Our region, the issue of drugs is a major issue in our West African region. So the ECOWAS Parliament, during our last session, adopted its work program for 2026 to do a tour of the ECOWAS region to understand the different approaches with governments and civil society fight against drugs and substance abuse. So the ECOWAS Parliament in June visited Guinea-Conakry, where they conducted a similar tour and study. In July, they were in Sierra Leone. They did similar down there in Liberia. The idea of this mission is that we want to synchronize a drug law for West Africa. When this mission is completed, they're going to do a presentation to the ECOWAS Parliament in our next session, which will be held in Ghana. And the result from that will go to the authorities of head of states and government, that is all of the presidents. And then we'll see how best we can adapt a common front in the fight against drugs. The issue of drugs is very, very important in our region. It's affecting our young people and it's taking over our generation. And we feel that if nothing holistic is done about it, we're going to have a major crisis in the not too distant future. So it's not about what the government is doing or not doing, and that's why I said it's not just unique to Liberia. The delegation visited Guinea-Conakry, visited Sierra Leone already. They will be going to the Gambia, they will be going to Cape Verde, they will be going to Guinea-Bissau, Ghana, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, and even England, Nigeria, everywhere. So I believe that the government, in its own weak way, is doing its best to fight drugs. The fact that the budgetary allotment for drugs has increased. The fact that when there was chaos at the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, the president took decisive stand to, first of all, suspended those that were involved, and then followed by the dismissal. There's a new leadership there, which I think they're doing a good job so far. We have not heard of any disruption there. So I think the government, but this is a serious fight. It has to be void of politics. We may have our political differences, we may have our political disagreement, but like I said, there is no household that will tell you that exempted from the abuse or from drugs. So if we go and put our domestic politics into the fight against drugs, I think we'll be affecting our own generation. So again, I must be clear about this. I'm impressed with the government fight against drugs. Do we need to do more?
He's Bomi County Senator Edwin Snow there speaking. The president of the National Teachers Association of Liberia School Principals, Derek Dennis, has described the shortage of textbooks in schools as a major obstacle to quality teaching and learning across the country. Dennis expressed concern that many schools operate without textbooks that reflect Liberia's culture and values, a situation he considered detrimental to students' academic growth and national identity. His comment came during the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the association and two educational institutions, New Joy Liberia Incorporated and Praiseword Incorporated, aimed at improving access to culturally relevant learning materials. The agreement, according to education stakeholders, represents a collaborative effort to address the root causes of poor student performance in national examinations through a strong public public-private partnerships. Both organizations emphasize that solving Liberia's education challenges will require joint action by the government and the private sector, with the new partnership seen as a critical step toward enhancing academic excellence nationwide.
It gladdens my heart to welcome you all to this momentous signing ceremony. Just so you know, this official signing ceremony marks a collaborative partnership between the National Association of Liberia School Principals, New Joy Liberia, and Praise Word Incorporated. Today is not merely about affixing our signatures to documents. It is about affirming a shared commitment to the academic excellence and holistic development of our education system, particularly the students across Liberia. It is about coming together as education leaders, principals, administrators, academic support providers, and leading resource suppliers to strengthen the pillars of quality education in our country. To New Joy Liberia Incorporated, we value your commitment to ensuring that Liberian schools have access to affordable, relevant, and high-quality learning materials. Your collaboration with us will bridge the textbook gap that continues to hinder effective teaching and learning in many of our member schools, particularly far-to-reach counties. We are intentional about this partnership because, in the words of the President, Ambassador Joseph Yumabraga, he said, "We will not do business as usual. Doing education without a textbook is a serious affront to teaching and learning, let alone talk about using textbooks that have no cultural relevance, no connection, textbooks that are not contextualized to the culture of Liberia. It is about time we start to promote our own." Since the launch of the Liberianization policy, the extension of Liberia to the World Trade Organization WTO, as a student manoring public administration at the time when I was in the University of Liberia, I did a paper called Liberia Extension to WTO World Trade Organization, and I had the opportunity to do a critical analysis of the Liberianization policy. From that time until now, there has been little or no effort to give Liberians the opportunity to actively participate in their country's economy. Let's patronize our Liberian writers, since their writings portray our culture. Take for example, an English teacher who is teaching either elementary, junior, or senior high preposition, and he reads the English book from the Great United States of America with all due respect, but see the cultural divide. The example says, standing on the Hawaii mountain and looking down into the city of New Georgia. How does the Liberian child understand Hawaii mountain? How does the Liberian child understand New Georgia? We should rather be saying, standing on the Wologisi mountain, viewing Foya, Kolamu. We should be talking about viewing Maryland, Plebo, whatever mountain, Nimba Mountain, looking at Kansas City. At least that makes a lot of sense.
Derek Dennis is the president of the National Teachers Association of Liberia School Principals. They're speaking. The Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, CENTAR, is calling on President Joseph Boakai to immediately dismiss non-compliant public officials who have failed to declare their assets as required by law. CENTAR urged the Unity Party-led government to take drastic steps to ensure that non-compliant public officials are excluded from the government to maintain adherence to its rule of law pillar in the arrest agenda. Addressing a major news conference on Tuesday, August 5, 2025, CENTAR Executive Director Anderson Miamin said the government cannot achieve its fight against corruption and accountability in public service if public officials' incomes and liability remain undisclosed before or while serving in government. The Anti-Graft Institution Board raised key concerns over the status of approximately 450 public officials who were suspended some months ago by President Boakai for failing to declare their assets in line with the National Code of Conduct. Anderson Miamin cautioned the executive through the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission to report the asset declaration compliance of the suspended official to uphold accountability and transparency in the public. At the same time, the CENTAR Executive Director called on the legislature to enforce its oversight responsibilities on the executive to ensure that individuals occupying public offices are kept in check to make account for their stewardship.
full implementation of the law remains a challenge. Upon assuming office, President Joseph Jouma Boakai laudably appointed and commissioned a team headed by Councillor Finlay Dikanga to oversee the activities of the Office of the Ombudsman, whose responsibilities include, but not limited to, enforcing the asset declaration requirement and ensuring that public officials fully complied with relevant integrity, accountability, and transparency standards. We are pleased to highlight some notable progress recorded so far in asset declaration compliance, including full compliance by the President and Vice President, Speaker and Senate Pro Tempore, and other officials, including the 100% compliant levels at the Liberia Revenue Authority. However, data gathered by the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission shows that a considerable number of officials, including appointees, legislators, and justices of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia, are still reneging on declaring their assets, incomes, and liabilities. Faced concerns about the status of actions taken by President Joseph Jouma Boakai in February 2025, leading to the suspension and withholding of salaries of 452 appointed officials, we are yet to be informed whether these officials have resumed work, and if so, whether such resumption is a result of their compliance with the President's directive to declare their assets. We therefore call on the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission to publish a full status report on these affected officials so as to allay concerns of disregard for the Code of Conduct and the Presidential Directive. We believe these actions will promote greater transparency within the asset declaration regime, as well as increase compliance and accountability. In conclusion, we call on President Joseph Jouma Boakai to go a step further from suspending to dismissing all officials within the executive found to have remained defiant by their refusal to.
Anderson Miamen is the Executive Director of the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. They're speaking. And now for foreign development, Rwanda has said it will accept up to 250 migrants from the U.S. in a deal agreed with President Donald Trump's administration. Under the scheme, the deportee will be given workforce training, healthcare, and accommodation to jumpstart their lives in Rwanda. Government spokesperson Yolanda Makoli confirmed to the BBC a condition of the agreement was that Rwanda will have the ability to approve each individual proposed for resettlement. The warehouse has not commented on the deal directly, but told the BBC it was constantly talking to countries willing to assist them in removing the illegal aliens that ex-president Joe Biden had allowed to infiltrate the U.S. Well, on that note, this is how we draw down the curtains onto this edition of K News. K News is the full package of the news and current affairs department of Cool 91.9 FM. My name is Winifred Sako. I've presented Good Morning from Painesville.